What are we doing? What are we doing? We are live right now, and I got you two. I mean, come on, man.
What happened? How did this motley threesome end up together? I mean, what is happening? Derek Gunn must have lost his mind to want to be with the two of us.
Let's see. There's Mo. There's Larry. I guess I'm Curly.
Yeah. Oh my God. I think I'm Shemp. I don't know what I'm like. Curly was too good. I'm like that other guy, Joe, who they just kind of stuck in there. Yeah. Exactly.
They just put in there.
How in the world did this happen? I mean, I love you guys to death. I have the utmost respect for you, but I didn't ever think this would happen.
No. Someone made a real big mistake. That's for sure. So people who are tuning in and listening right now, they're saying to themselves, what in the heck is going on right here?
You remember that movie, The Guys Must Be Crazy?
Yes. Welcome to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel presented by Ocean Casino. Go for the shows, go for the win. He's Derek Gunn. He's Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis, and this is the Thanksgiving turkey ball special with the three of us knuckleheads.
How is this a special?
Yeah, special is the right word. Special.
Yeah, we're all special. No question about that.
Right.
Well, look, there's a lot to do. It's funny because we got Thanksgiving tomorrow, which is great, and we're going to get Barrett cooking tips. We're going to get Derek grilling tips, and we're going to explain to the audience how I eat like I'm 4 years old. Like we're going to do a lot of these kind of things today. Okay, so all of this is going to be in depth breaking down. But I was talking to our producer Xander right before we came on, guys, and here's the thing, right? Ultimately, we looked at this year. And let's be honest, none of us knew really what to expect. The expectations weren't high for the Eagles, right? And we're sitting here now, and we're almost in December. We're a week away from December, basically. And we have total interest in this team. We're not just counting down draft picks. We're, we've gone beyond the evaluation stage. Of course, at the end of the day, it's about Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts and all that. But it's fun, right? I mean, isn't that all you ask for, really, as a fan and as somebody who follows the sport?
That's what it is. It's fun. We're talking about a team that has potential, a team that, we can look at. I mean, I know when I look at this game, of course, I've been screaming run the ball for the past 4 years. They finally do it, and it works. I've finally been vindicated because running the ball actually works. But the big thing to me that really turned the corner for me, knowing this is going to be a pretty good season, is the way Jordan Mailata responded to Davenport when he's just simply pushed. I mean, he just kind of shoved him just a little bit out of bounds. And you see how enraged he got. And from that point on, that was his personal vendetta to whoop Davenport every single time he was playing against him. That's what football's about. I never saw that with Carson. Well, the bodyguard did it. Jason Peters did. JP was always going to do that. But he was the only one. Jordan Mailata made it his point to make Davenport's life miserable from that point on. That just goes to show the respect that this young kid Hurts has for the players on the team, man. They love it, bro.
What's your sense of what's happening here? Because they've developed an identity, right? I mean, we were kind of at a low point after that Vegas game, and it was kind of ugly, and rightfully so. People were angry, and they were putting a lot on Jalen Hurts in terms of throwing the ball constantly. Now they've evolved into this sort of old school, something Barrett would have loved during his offensive line days, where you are just taking it to the defense and literally just taking their will. I mean, what these numbers that we're seeing, the attempts and the rushing yards week in and week out over the last 3-4 weeks, we haven't seen in the NFL in how long?
Exactly. Here's something we may never find out. I believe going into that Detroit game, Nick Sirianni's commitment to the run was an experiment to see what he had. Now, you picked the perfect opponent because Detroit couldn't stop any of us if we were running the football, and that's Barrett on one leg. So, so he couldn't have stopped. They couldn't have stopped. But then all of a sudden, a revelation hits. Wait a minute. This offensive line can actually move people off the ball. I have 3 different versatile type of running backs that I can go to at any given moment. And this is like when Miles Sanders was hurt, and all of a sudden, wait, let's try it again next week. Let's see, we got the number 6 defense coming up in Denver. Let's try it against them. Wow, we're averaging over 200 yards rushing. Now, you know what? They say we can't run the football against the Saints' number 1 run defense. Let's see what we can do. 50 rushing attempts. Andy Reid never got close to 50 rushing attempts. Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson never got close to 50 rushing attempts. All of a sudden, the guy, and here's what I like most about this, and myself included. Just think about this. From the fan base to the media alike, a month ago, people are screaming, run Nick Sirianni out of town. You should never have hired him. Fire him right now. Jalen Hurts, he can never be considered a franchise quarterback. And all of a sudden, the last 2 weeks, what are we seeing? Hey, I'm satisfied with Hurts moving forward. Nick Sirianni finally figured it out. You know, he's not a bad coach after all. He's a good play caller. How fickle are we?
But here's what I like though, Derek and Barrett. You can attest to this because you and I were sitting next to each other every day during the Chip Kelly era.
Poor you.
That's an entire show in and of itself. I don't even know where to start. And I sat next to Gunner in the newsroom for like 20 years. So I have finished today. Okay. But that said, one of the things that drives me nuts, and I get it, NFL coaches and college coaches too get to the level they get because they have a firm belief in themselves, right? Yep. Which borders on, I mean, let's be honest, at times there's an arrogance and there's a stubbornness, right? What I like about Nick Sirianni, and maybe he did it begrudgingly, maybe he did it, necessity is the mother of invention, whatever, however we got here, I don't care. He was willing to change. He was willing to adapt. And I'll say this too about Jonathan Gannon, rightfully skewered, right? But at least we're seeing more aggression from your both sides of the ball here. You're seeing guys who are willing to adapt, willing to change. That to me is encouraging.
You know what? And the big thing about this and me talking to, the players and then, just evaluating what's going on. And I hate to go back to my Steeler days, but I have to because I won a championship there. But it became a point where it didn't matter who you lined up against. It didn't matter, it was just a bunch of guys in helmets, no names on their jersey, no numbers on their jersey. And we were going to do what we wanted to do. And I think that's what Nick Sirianni and his offense has implemented. They didn't care what the statistics were. They didn't care who they lined up against, who they were lined up across. All they cared about is doing what they do best and let the chips fall where they may. And that's what happened. You can run the ball. You have to stop us instead of, you going out and adjusting to what the defense was going. Oh, well, they're horrible against the pass. We're going to pass the ball. No, do what you do. Mm-hmm. And then you become, you become a dominant team because that's the most that's the worst thing you can do to a defense is to run the ball and you can't stop it. There's nothing else you can do about it. I mean, look at it. Look at your left side. And I say it all the time. When you have a 6'8", 380-pound left tackle, a 6'6", 360-pound left guard, why are you not running to that left side? Mm-hmm. Why are you not giving them a chance? I mean, just inertia, it's alone. Pushing guys off the ball is going to make it happen. Talking about a movable object, it didn't matter what you have. You could put a battle cruiser, you know what I'm saying, from down in the Navy Yard in front of them and they can move it. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of meat right there on one side of the ball. You just got to get them going in the right direction. They're not pass blockers, they're run blockers.
Look, you guys both know this, right? So if you're running the ball like that, you're beating the other team down. You're wearing them out, right?
Absolutely.
And number two, if they have a stud we know Trevor Siemian is not this guy, but if you're playing a team with a stud quarterback on the other side or a really potent offense, you're keeping them off the field. Yes. I mean, more than anything else, you're giving your defense a break because those guys are just sitting there on the sideline. And I know time of possession can be overrated, but in that case, at least they're off the field and your offense is on the field.
Remember we saw this happen in 2017. D-Gun, we talked about it too on Quick Slants, but we were out there and we're watching this offense, and they gave the ball to LeGarrette Blount. He had like a 60-something yard run, and you saw the defense jump out of there off the bench and jump out there and start screaming and yelling and getting hyped. And from that point on, they rode the wave of running the rock, and they had some success because of that. It gets the defense going also. When they're running the ball, pounding the ball, and all of a sudden those guys start getting up a little bit slower. Oh, begrudgingly having to get up, after getting put on your back all day. Yep. That's what you want. Imposing your will, man. I love that fact that I could sit back in my chair in that office and watch this game and understand that there's nothing they could do about it. They can run the ball on anybody in the league. And it might be, I don't care if they play Dallas's starters or not.
Yeah.
when you can run the ball like that, that's the best defense against that offense because you're on the field and the other offense is off the field.
There's very few dominant run games in the National Football League, in this pass-happy league that we've been watching for the last 7, 8, 9 years. I've always said football is as much psychological warfare as it is physical warfare. And like Barrett said, when you're constantly embarrassing an opponent, no matter how much they stack a line of scrimmage, no matter how many stunts they try, no matter how many games they play, and all they're doing is looking at running backs back of the jersey, and they're getting up off their backs, and offensive linemen are standing over them, daring them to get back in the trenches again. You've won half the battle right there. Now, going back to Nick Sirianni, I believe, and I understand why. New coach, new kid in town. He comes in. He has this philosophy. He has this playbook. He's from the Frank Reich School of Offense, and he's going to implement his style of football, different style of football, and he beats it into his players. And he come out of the gate. It looks perfect the first game against Atlanta. And he stays with it the next few games. And it doesn't look so good against better opponents. And then he keeps staying with it. He won't change because, this is how he got the job. This is what he sold Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman on to get this job. But somebody somewhere along the lines finally got in his ear and said, hold up. What you want to do, the way you want to do it, you may not have the personnel right now to do what you want to do. So we need to adjust on the fly. Mm-hmm. You got these bookend tackles here. You've got one of the smartest centers in the game. We have offensive linemen, interchangeable parts, who are being groomed by one of the best offensive line coaches in the game, and Jeff Stoutland. We can do something a little different that nobody's expecting from us. So he finally gave in. Worked against Detroit. Worked again the next week. Now all of a sudden, the Eagles, this is just still blowing me away. The Eagles' run game has now become the talk of the National Football League. A team that everybody was laughing at and marking off as a W on their calendars. Yes. All of a sudden, you got to rethink this position now. And oh, by the way, we have to talk about this team in the same breath as the word playoff now, because it's a very viable possibility it could happen for this team.
Well, think about it, guys. So you normally, when you're 5-6 at this point, you're saying, all right,
it's a done deal.
Yeah, you're trying to grab a couple positives and look at a draft pick. And we were there about 3 weeks ago. We're not there now. And the combination of the way the Eagles are playing right now, the people around them, some of these teams like the Saints, like we saw last week, who were going the other way, the needle's definitely pointing down on a lot of those other teams. And the Eagles going this way in a bad, minus Dallas, in a bad division, in a conference that's pretty wide open. The thought of this would have been crazy a couple of weeks back. It's not at all. You look at what they have left. The Giants twice. If anybody's watched the Giants this year, they suck and they're an embarrassment.
Stink.
How do you really feel?
It's a train wreck. Jason Garrett's out. Freddie Kitchens. I actually would have preferred Jason Garrett held on to his job.
Right. I agree.
You look at what Washington is now. They look like they're a little bit better, but I'm not buying it all the way. Nope. I mean, they beat a Carolina team that isn't special at all, so they're okay. But you might get Dallas in the last week. I think Barrett, you referenced this. Who knows where that is? Dallas might be playing for home field for the conference, which means they'll probably be playing everybody. But if not, if they're already locked in, you're going to be getting Cooper Rush and just a bunch of guys. So
see, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to worry about that, though, because that's how you beat Dallas. You run the ball against Dallas.
Right.
Yeah.
And we can do that now.
Yeah.
We can do that now.
No, listen, you're right. And this is, what we're seeing here, the offshoot of the running attack is Jalen Hurts. Okay. And a guy who now is starting to really find his footing and find his confidence. And you're seeing the chemistry that he's got with Devontae Smith, that he's got with Dallas Goedert. Yes, some other guys need to step up from the receiver realm for sure. But you got an offense that's really tough to defend. You think about this, Barrett and Gunnar. You guys can speak to this because Barrett, you played, and Derek, you talked to everybody in the league. I know that. This is not a team you want to play against.
No.
They're not. Think about how hard Hurts is to defend when he's keeping that mesh as long as he's keeping it. And you don't know if he's going to keep the ball, he's going to hand it off. And also just the physical nature of everything we just talked about, Mailata and Johnson, not to mention Landon Dickerson, who's been excellent, in the run game. Kelsey, who is still a monster, even at this stage in his career. It's unbelievable. And Driscoll's done a nice job across the board. And by the way, Goddard is an excellent blocking tight end. Yeah. This team will maul you every single game. These other teams don't want any parts of this.
I equate Jalen Hurts to the modern day Clint Eastwood. You never know what he's thinking. You never know how he's feeling. And I tell you what, I have the utmost respect for this young man because of one reason. Go back to training camp. No matter how many times he was peppered about rumors about quarterbacks coming in here, no matter how many times he was chastised early on in the season about his overall game. You know, I always like to look at a player's demeanor in his face when he's sitting in front of the media when things are going bad and he's peppered with questions about his play and about the rumors and this, that, and the other. And you could tell he never cracked. He kept the even demeanor. You don't know what he's thinking. You know how much he's feeling the pressure. He didn't let the media get to him. You know, I always love the players, and Barrett can attest to this. We talk about this all the time. I love the players that say, I don't know what the people are saying about me. I don't know what the media is saying about me. And I'm not saying
whatever,
said that, but that's a lie. You know why it's a lie? Because if they don't hear it themselves directly, they have friends, family members, an agent. Somebody is telling them exactly what's being said about them. But he never cracked. Although he had that line about, a deuce dropping a deuce, I was like, wait a minute, whoa, that's a little different. You know, I hadn't heard that before.
That's keeping it real going wrong.
I know, yeah, exactly. But he hasn't cracked. And now he's getting out there. And the fact that they run the ball so efficiently, as crazy as it sounds, I think he's a better quarterback by having less opportunities to step back and throw, because they're using his whole array of athleticism. And now when defenses look at Jalen Hurts, the thing that frightens them the most, more so than his passing ability, is that ability to step up and not just pick up necessary yards, but make you look bad in the process. And he's such a smart quarterback. He gets down when he has to. He steps out of bounds when he has to. He's not taking any unnecessary shots. He's not putting his body in harm's way. He's living to play another day. I remember, go back to Michael Vick. How many times were we screaming, would you please learn how to slide? Please. Michael Vick, knee injury, shoulder injury, never learned how to slide. Even Carson Wentz wouldn't get down sometimes.
They tried to train him. They used the freeze to try to show him how to slide.
Yeah. Michael Vick had Jimmy Rollins come in, didn't he?
Yeah.
And Chief tried to teach. Still didn't work.
No.
Jalen Hurts would say, you know what? I want to live to play another day.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not trying to be on anybody's eye. I'm trying every day. He understands every game is an audition. Every week's an audition for him to see if the Eagles are going to commit him beyond the 2021. And, we thought, this is going to be bad a few weeks ago. Now we're thinking, hey, you know what? This team can focus on other areas now. If he keeps playing like this and keeps progressing, they don't have to worry about looking at a quarterback now this offseason.
Yeah, and that's the big thing right there. I mean, Jalen Hurts is they try to run this RPO system, and when you run the RPO, you have to be able to run the ball efficiently. Well, during that time period, they really didn't have the personnel to run the ball because when Mailata got hurt, you had Dillard in there, and Dillard's not a run blocker. He's actually an excellent pass blocker. Mm-hmm. He can block the edge, but he can't run block. When you put Dillard back in there, when you take Dillard out and put Mailata back in there, now you can run the ball efficiently. Mm-hmm. Now when you run an RPO, they don't run RPO, they just run read option now because they don't have to run the pass part of the RPO. They just run the read option. That defensive end in which they're optioning off of, he's damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. If he stays out wide, he's going to hand the ball off to that running back. He's going to be explosive on the field. Right. But if he crashes to get him, now he lets the quarterback run outside outside and he gains yardage. So, what are you going to do? All right, you're going to bring a safety in. You're going to bring a corner to blitz off that side, the same side they're going to run RPO off of. Now he's open. Now Jalen Hurts has found a way that he's patient in the pocket and he can deliver the ball down the field. His maturation as a quarterback is going along hand in hand. Yeah. And the offensive coordinator / head coaches, Sirianni's, maturation of becoming, they're lifting each other as they're climbing. They're lifting each other as they're climbing.
Yeah, and here's the beauty, right, Barrett? All we talked about was, man, if he could just figure out the throwing part. This guy's got all the intangibles, right? Nobody doubted how mature he was. We saw that when he left Alabama, went to Oklahoma, the way he handled himself and the way he was ready at Alabama his last year there and stepped in the SEC championship game. You knew how smart he was. You could listen to the guy for 2 seconds. You could tell he grew up with a coach, his dad. You knew. So all the intangible stuff was there. We all just kept saying, yeah, but can he do the other stuff? And to what Derek was saying earlier, he's so smart on the field. Like,
yes,
he's got that Russell Wilson, sort of Ryan Westbrook Never going to take the nasty shot. You know, live to see another day. And I truly believe this. He doesn't care a whit about numbers. All he cares about is wins. Like if he only had 12 attempts, who cares? Did we win the game? And that's all that guy cares. And that's rare for that position with these young guys. It is.
It's absolutely rare. You know, you're talking about a guy that, he hears everybody talking. Oh, is he the guy? You know, we had 3 first-round picks. They're burning a hole in Howie's pocket right now. Oh, you know, is he a franchise quarterback? He's not even worried about that. You know, he hears it, and he's not stupid. He understands what he's up against, but he also understands he can take care of the intangibles, what's going on the field. He can take care of my play on the field is going to dictate what my future is. So I'm going to go out and play to the best of my ability, not up to everybody else's standards. I'm up to my standard. His standards are probably higher than anybody else's.
Yeah, think about how we were screaming. We were screaming about how, what in the world were they thinking drafting a quarterback in the second round when you are a franchise quarterback? What were you thinking? You know, and now here we are sitting here today singing his praises. And, you know, it's like Bizarro World. It's like us 3 here on this show right now. We're sitting here talking about singing the praises of Howie Roseman for seeing something that we never.
I'm not going that far.
Saw. Yes, you are.
I'm not going
you have
that far.
to. Look.
Can't.
Look. Not just, when I say we, I don't mean we, but I mean we in general in this market.
Yes.
We have lambasted Howie for a number of things across the board. Okay,
I like that lambast. You're right.
But as we sit here right now, you know, you got to give Howie some kudos, man. I mean, you jettison franchise quarterback out of here. Now you turn the reins over to this kid, and you told us, just give it time. Give it time. And we're like, what? Well, why should we listen to you? And now all of a sudden, you know, you got to give Howie some credit for this.
Well, take it a step further, Derek. I mean, your 1-2 punch from this past year's draft is killing it.
Yes.
You know, the Alabama boys, man, between what Devontae's doing and Landon Dickerson. And look, my biggest fear with Landon Dickerson wasn't his ability. The dude, he's talented and he's nasty. He's got a mean streak. He's got kind of a Runyon sort of streak. Can he stay healthy? You know, so far so good. But that right now, man, the top end of this draft is looking real good.
Well,
go ahead, Bear.
No, I was just saying to say, you know, we saying yes, kudos to that, you know, but 3 first rounders, and you look on the stream, you know, it's saying the same thing. Do you trust him with 3 first rounders? Do you trust him to do the right thing?
Well, that's a little different story.
That's fair. Look, there's been too many misses, man. There's been too many high misses. You know, we had a parade because J.J. Arcega-Whiteside caught a ball this week, right?
Right.
You know, that's a second-round pick. Jalen Reagor, it's well chronicled. Look, when I do the post game every single week, right? Yeah. And I ask our buddy Dan Klecko the same question. What does he do well? Yeah. He doesn't return well. He doesn't have an instinct for the return game. You see it when he fields a punt inside his own 5.
Right.
He doesn't run routes well. He's not a burner, even though we were told he was a burner. They try to get him involved in sort of these jet sweep, you know, wide receiver screen throws, and they lose yardage. Like, I don't know what he is. So, Barrett, you're right. I mean, credit where credit's due, but there are also some swings and misses here.
Yes. You know, one of the swings where you hit a home run, obviously, is Jordan Mailata. You know, we're thinking, why would you waste a 7th round pick on a rugby player? And obviously, at that time, you didn't have to play him because you had depth across the offensive line. You had versatility across the offensive line. But the Jordan Mailata, we got a sample of last year, and I'm seeing this year. I look at him and I go, you remember the movie Blazing Saddles? Remember Mungo?
Yes.
Go that Alex Karras? That was Alex Karras, wasn't it? Former Lion?
Yeah. Go block somebody. Mungo, go block somebody. This man, the one play that stands out in the Saints game, I forget what quarter it's in. He blocked somebody, and here comes Cameron Jordan on the edge, and all he did was stick his hand out, and he went toppling like a rabbit being shot with buckshot. I'm thinking, how strong is this man? And be as agile as he is? This man's going to kill somebody before the season's over.
Yeah, he's got that Reggie White strength. You know what I mean?
Goodness.
Yeah.
One arm just lifting up at 300 pounds.
Yeah, ask Barrett about that Reggie White strength.
Why do you think I brought it up?
Well, we always got to get personal, man. We always got to get personal, man. You know?
One of my favorite videos of all time.
Why you always got to bring that up?
He went there, man.
Yeah.
First show together, and he does that.
Man. Damn. I thought we were friends, man.
Look, you know, D-Gun, you're not going to call it like I see it.
And these streets are mean out here, man.
I tell people all the
Thanksgiving, too. On Turkey Ball Day, we're doing that.
I mean, come on, man. You got to understand, man. Mr. White, you keep calling him Mr. White, man. He
that's a bad
I
man.
tell people all the time, when your pops grab you when you're like 5 or 6 years old, he grabs you. You know, you felt grabbed. That's the way I felt playing against Mr. White, man. You know, and I didn't feel so bad because you can laugh all you want to, but I saw him throw the strongest player ever in the NFL.
That's right.
Larry Allen could bench 700 pounds.
Yeah.
But he tossed him like a rag doll. So
he did.
He didn't toss me because I grabbed and held him, but he was flinging me in the air like this. And I was going in like this. He was steady flinging me, man. I got hit by 2 flags, man, and one flew over my head.
Guys, refs are pulling out extra flags out of the pocket.
Throwing their hats.
We've never seen anything like that. One guy took his shirt off.
Man.
Right. But lo and behold, though, guess what? Rodney P said, "Thanks a lot.
Thank
man."
you. Yeah. There's much more pride in getting that flag than getting Larry Allen. Okay.
Right.
I'm telling you.
That's what he said. Just don't be on the ESPN moment.
But that's the thing, guys. You look at this, and it's sort of a transformation, right? You've moved on from the bodyguard. You moved on for some of the other guys, and we don't even talk about it. Sayamalo out, basically done for the year. We haven't seen Brandon Brooks.
Right.
Look at the way these guys have filled in now, and I love the fact. I'll tell you, if there's ever, other than maybe like Buddy Ryan and that kind of defense and what Jim Johnson did for a long time, if you could script this for a Philadelphia fan base, for an offense to be this smash mouth, just take it to you, this is it. This is like their dream, man. Of course you want points, but to be able to do it this way and still score a lot of points with the running game and just hammering teams. It's one of the reasons why people are so excited about this team. And one of the reasons why we're talking about the playoffs.
No,
well, I think this team right now embodies the mindset of the fan base in Philadelphia. Roll your sleeves up, put your hand in the dirt, and get dirty, and just manhandle your opponent. I mean, people are salivating right now because we haven't seen this. I mean, think about it. We really haven't seen this. We've seen them have good run games, but to stay committed to the run, they're averaging 217 yards rushing over the last 4 games. Since week 8, they are the #1 running team in the National Football League. They're averaging close to 40 rushing attempts a game. Are you kidding me?
Insane.
Now we do have to take into consideration that those numbers are inflated somewhat because of Jalen Hurts' ability to take off and run. He's carrying the ball 10, 12 times a game. He's the leading rusher. I don't like my quarterback being the leading rusher on my team. But when you look at his overall makeup and how he's handling his business, you look at Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is going to try to get that extra yard, and he's taking unnecessary shots. The way RG3 played his game, it cost him his career early on. Michael Vick, the same way. Michael Vick spent way too much time in the tub instead of on the field because of the way he played the game. But this kid plays the game the same way, but yet knows how to protect his body and get down and get up. Don't take an unnecessary, a straight bullet if you don't have to. Be smart. We need you in the huddle, not on the sideline nursing an injury. And this kid right now, man, and it's still a lot of football to be played, but you have to say it right now. Up to this point, the Eagles are getting a laugh last. I mean, you look up and down social media the first month and a half of the season, man, I tell you what, the comments were comical, creative and comical in terms of, how frustrated this fan base was. But now this organization is getting the last laugh right now.
I'll tell you what, I don't want to take an unnecessary hit from Joe Krause or Xander Krause, so we need to take a quick break. Okay. All right, everybody, catch their breath. So if you're just tuning in, and
I ain't afraid of Xander. I ain't afraid of him.
I hear you. Ghostbusters is out. I ain't afraid of no ghost. All right. So if you're just tuning in, you're saying, what is happening here? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? So this is the TurkeyBall show, and they got 3 turkeys here. That's for sure.
Right.
Along with our friend who's right there as well, next to Barrett. But we're talking Eagles, obviously. We're talking about their playoff chances, but we don't just do sports. Okay. With Thanksgiving now, a day away, we're going to get some grilling tips and some cooking tips from 2 experts for people who may not know, with Barrett and Derek. And I'm the furthest thing from an expert. I'm sure everybody knows that part of it. So
that man can't boil water.
Exactly right. So we would love for you to like the show and subscribe to the JAKIB Media channel. That's JAKIB Media channel. And you're watching the JAKIB Media YouTube channel presented by Ocean Casino. Go for the shows. Go for the win. He's Derek Gunn. He's Barrett Brooks. I am Rob Ellis. We'll get a quick timeout. We'll come back more on the Eagles, and we'll get you set for tomorrow, too. If you're not sure exactly what to do with the family coming in, these guys will take care of you. That's for sure. We'll be right back.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
When it comes to the fight against insurance companies, large corporations, and the healthcare industry, injured victims are always the underdog. But that doesn't worry us. At Messa & Associates, we're an injury law firm from Philadelphia, and we come to fight. Our clients know that they've got representation with a chip on its shoulder, and it's the same chip that makes Philly the toughest city in the country. Call 215-568-3500 or visit us online at messalaw.com. Messa & Associates, the toughest injury firm in Philadelphia.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Yeah, baby. We are back. I could go for some of that Stateside vodka.
That was a new one right there too.
Hey, I got a couple bottles I'll send you.
All right.
Yeah, I send them to me. I already put my request in. Xander, what's going on? What's taking so long, man?
Yeah, you're on back order, Barrett. You know, you're not really a priority. They didn't want to tell you that.
Hey, right. Transportation across the country is down, Barrett.
Yeah. Xander said Barrett crushes 6 bottles in 4 days. You're done. They're cutting you off, man. You're done, dude. Yes. This is the biggest party night, bar none. People think New Year's Eve. They think, St. Patty's Day, whatever.
Yeah.
It is the night before Thanksgiving because so many people, go back home or whatever the case. College kids are home. I know. So I'll let you guys in on something. By the way, let's let everybody know that they're watching the TurkeyBall show. Philadelphia Eagles Thanksgiving TurkeyBall special with my man D Gunn, the BCB, Barrett Brooks, Pork Chop, AKA. People may not know that nickname, but we'll get into that because we're going to get into that. Brought to you by JAKIB Media. And again, check us out. You can like the show. You go to the JAKIB Media YouTube channel. And it's presented by Ocean Casino. Go for the shows. Go for the win. Biggest party. I want you guys in on something before we even get into that. So I'm in my basement, as you can see. I actually have my drawing, my Breakfast on Broad drawing.
Yeah, your son. Yeah,
my little old school right there. So I'll show you guys. I'll give you a little tour in a minute. But my basement, I live in a split level house. So the basement is 3 steps down from the kitchen. Okay, over this shoulder. So
that would be your right, Rob.
I always have to which hand do I throw with? So exactly your other left. I'm having work done in my kitchen, right? I'm having it, just gutted. Okay.
The day before Thanksgiving?
It's been going on for 2 weeks. I'm hoping it's done by Christmas, Barrett, because I'm losing my mind. Okay. Everything is microwaved. Everything is takeout. Everything is crock pot. Ugh.
Hey, I got a story. When you finish, Rob, I got a story for you about renovations. You're going to love this one. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So if out of nowhere you guys hear some banging and some craziness, that's what's happening. We keep it real on this show. All right?
That happens in my house anyways, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is I could scurry off into a bedroom, but I got my son who's home from college who sleeps till noon. You guys know that deal.
Oh, yeah.
My daughter's room is not exactly set up perfectly for a good backdrop for this.
Yeah.
And my bedroom looks like a bomb went off. So that's why I'm here. And that's why it may get a little bit loud. So I might give you guys a tour of what's going on at some point.
Hey, look, you were talking about renovations.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm in my wife's office, and I'm glad you can't see the rest of it because she has all of her grandkids' Christmas stuff in here, right?
Oh,
and it looks like somebody broke in the window in her office and robbed the place right now. So I had to make a little cubby hole. Now, you were talking about renovation. So my wife decided in December of last year, she wanted the kitchen renovated. Now, I've been putting it off for like 10 years. I said, I'm not doing this. I said, and I tried to use the excuse, well, honey, I'm out of work right now. We can't do this now. And now that didn't work either. So the renovations in my kitchen, and when you say gutted, when the renovations in my kitchen started last December, remember, we were in the midst of the COVID, people, So we had workers coming in and out from December until March to renovate the kitchen. As of September, there was still one aspect we needed change. We couldn't get the guy. The guy would tell us, I'll be there at 6 a.m. We'd get up, put the dogs away. No show. Guy wouldn't show up. So finally they told me, I said, you're done. So the kitchen, so I'm having another friend finish the touches. So you're saying 2 weeks. But it took us like 4 months. Now, outside my wife's office door right here are 3 dogs, 2 little dogs that don't like the big one. They're constantly plotting his death. So I had to have my daughter put all 3 dogs in behind closed doors. I have a grandson who will be 3 in December. I call him my little demolition expert. Anything that's neat and tidy will soon be destroyed.
Oh my God!
My son is around here somewhere.
Sounds like a hotel, man. What is happening here, man?
My one daughter, who's an RN, she works third shift, so a couple of nights a week we keep my new 4-month-old granddaughter. So she's above me in the guest room sleeping. My other daughter's in the kitchen with the 4-month-old in a one of those front backpacks that you carry the baby on, and trying to control her almost 3-year-old son. So if there's anything that breaks out in any given moment, and please, heaven forbid, if the doorbell rings, you're going to hear all 3 dogs. It's going to sound like the Mississippi Tabernacle Choir go off anytime the doorbell rings. So you got problems. I got problems, Rob.
See, the difference between you and me, Derek, we can't do anything. We can't even change a light bulb. Barrett is actually legitimately handy. Like Barrett could knock the kitchen out himself in like 2 days.
Yeah, I did that. I just rebuilt a car, man. I just rebuilt I got a I went and got a I got a Dodge Magnum, and I just redid it, man. I mean, it turned out pretty nice, man. I bought it a month ago, and I said, you know what? I need something big that I can have, a car that I could drive instead of my truck.
Guys,
and I bought it. It's all-wheel drive. Got a 5.7 Hemi in it, man. I put a chip in it. I mean, I did all the stuff to it, painted and everything, man. It looks good now, bro.
Barrett messes with the electricity, man. I say, man, I don't fool with electricity. I'm not going to be a Christmas tree.
No.
I'm not messing with
First of all, I'm the furthest thing from well done. I'm like see-through. So I get sunburned. From a light bulb. You guys know that, man.
Well, I wasn't going to bring it up, but now
I have like 100 SPF on right now just in the house. Okay?
Bro, put it like this, man. I don't get shocked anymore because once I got shocked one time, it was like, I won't do that again. So now I know how to keep from getting shocked, man. So I'm not scared to do it. Once you get shocked, you're not scared to get shocked anymore.
Yeah,
because you're gonna do things not to get shocked. So that's why I say,
you learn real quick, man.
It's funny you said that because I got shocked one time about 10, 12 years ago. I was working on this light fixture in a closet in our church, our former church, and I'm up on this ladder and there's commotion everywhere. And my wife yells at me about something. I said, "Huh?" And I forgot about, and I hit that wire. I was like this. I was like, I had this warm surge run through me, man. Yeah. I sounded like Sylvester and Tweety for about 10 minutes. I sounded like Porky Pig.
We cooking something? What's going on? Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you. All right, so we're going to get to our Thanksgiving tips because I'm telling you right now, I'm with 2 legit amateur chefs, if you will, but certainly two grill masters and two guys who can actually get it done in the kitchen too. So we're going to help the people out because God knows I'm no help. So let's get it back here to the Eagles, as somebody once said famously. Looking at it realistically, guys, from a playoff standpoint, 5-6. Now the beauty is you get 17 games, as what we were accustomed to almost our whole lives here with the 16 games. So you get the extra game for the Eagles. 2 Giants, 2 Washington football team.
Yeah.
Mix the Cowboys and the Jets in there. What a disaster the Jets are too on a million different fronts. But I think it's very realistic. I think 9 could potentially do it. A 9-8 spot could potentially do it for you. I don't think it's quite as ugly as it was last year, where like nobody seemed to want this thing. It's a little bit different, but still, it's not a great conference. Like, I don't think winning the division is realistic with the Cowboys ultimately, but getting in for sure. Where do you guys stand, Barrett? I'll start with you on that one.
Yeah. Well, I believe it's a very real opportunity. It's realistic. It's realistic for us to be able to go in and win the last couple of games that we have. I mean, these are bad teams, period, point blank. But we're not too far removed from being that bad team also. We just now have an identity. And, I mean, we could also get in by winning the division, and that's actual a true possibility. I mean, we can definitely win this division still because Dallas hasn't wrapped everything up, and they have a kink in their armor now.
Yep.
We see the kink in their armor. And the kink is that they cannot stop the run.
Mm-hmm.
They can stop the pass. Don't throw the ball on them, but you can run the ball consistently on them. And that's the best defense against another team's offense, to keep them off the field. And
it's what the Eagles do the best.
And that's what we do the best. So, yes, it is a definite possibility. I think we will have some problems against the Washington football team, but it's nothing that we can't have. And, let's talk about Gannon. Gannon, he's shown the ability now, if he goes out and stops coaching scared, to stop people. He has the talent to do it. Mm-hmm. He's starting to see that talent, and they're starting to, reap the benefits of them being more aggressive. So I see that happening. They're blitzing more. They have a lot of confidence in TJ Edwards. They just gave him some new money. Mm-hmm. This team is starting to turn the corner, and it's because of the aggressive nature in which these coaches are coaching at is making it a true possibility that, yes, we can make the playoff if we continue to play this aggressive nature football.
Here's the way I see it, and people kind of snicker when I said this. I honestly believe they could run the table. When you look at the quarterbacks they're playing right now from this point on, name one of the quarterbacks that you fear. I mean, there's no Drew Brees, there's no Aaron Rodgers.
Right.
They've already got past, Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. We're talking about Daniel Jones twice, Taylor Heineke. I don't know who's quarterbacking the Giants. This is revolving doors. Mike White.
Wilson's back now.
Wilson.
Yeah, White and Flacco were down with COVID.
Yeah. Okay. So are you afraid of Zach Wilson? Okay. And Dak Prescott, I here's what's going to happen. Either Dallas is going to have the division wrapped up before that game counts, or Dallas may need that position for seeding. But if the Eagles are still in the fight and you got them right here in your backyard, the last game of the season, I like the Eagles' positioning. Now, the Eagles, if they beat the Giants, and we fully anticipate them beating the Giants this Sunday, although the Giants, when you look at the 3 wins, they can rise up and shock some people because all 3 of their wins have been quality wins. But if Dallas has a short week, Amari Cooper's not playing, okay? You have who was it? CeeDee Lamb has concussion protocol. He may not play Thursday.
Yep.
So, they still have Michael Gallup. They still have Cedric Wilson. Formidable. They still have a 2 deep, Tony Pollard and Zeke. And back then, the offensive line is still one of the best in the game. But, this team is playing on a short turnaround. I never thought Kansas City's defense could hold them to 9 points. Of all defenses, Kansas City hold them to 9 points. Mm-hmm. I never thought that would happen. Now you got to play the Raiders at home, and the Raiders like to play high-scoring games. Mm-hmm. Can the Cowboys play a high-scoring game minus 2 of their 4 primary weapons on the outside? That remains to be seen. And like you said, if the Raiders identify they can run the ball, well, if Dallas loses that game and the Eagles win, all of a sudden the Eagles are that close to first place.
Yeah.
And Dallas's schedule is a lot more difficult down the stretch than the Eagles. So nothing is out of the realm of reality. And, and there's no dominant team in the NFC right now.
Nope.
You go week by week. We thought Tampa Bay was that team. Mm-hmm. They had 2-game losing streak. Yep. We thought Green Bay was that team. Well, Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Now he's playing with a bum toe, and they just lost to the Vikings. Now they got to play the Rams, who are coming off a bye week, and the Rams are desperate. Okay.
They've lost.
The
Rams are kind of a mess right now.
Yeah. But when they lost, when they lost their wide receiver for the season, that really when they lost
Woods,
Robert Woods, that really hurt. Okay,
Yep.
so the Rams are not that team. Name somebody else in the NFC.
I think the Cardinals, who had they had the best record.
Yeah, and I give the Cardinals props, man, because they've been able to withstand Kyler Murray going down and DeAndre Hopkins. I think Cliff Kingsbury's done a hell of a job. But
I do too.
Gunnar, your point is well taken. Like, there's nobody where you sit here and you're like, oh my God, no chance.
No, but Green Bay showed you how to beat Arizona.
Yeah.
The same way the Eagles are winning games now. Run the ball. You can run the ball. You know, you can run the ball in Arizona. As good as their defense is, as talented as they are, Kyler Murray ain't putting a damage on anybody if he's standing on the sideline. Green Bay had the ball 39 minutes against their offense to find a way to win that game. So there's a formula to beat some of these teams. And when you get to the playoffs, as you guys know, you flip the coin, roll the dice. You know, there's no such guarantee right now. That you can say that about the AFC. There's no dominant team in the AFC right now. This is the most wide open the league has been in quite some time now.
Well, let me throw two more things at you guys, right? As we look at the stretch run here. The Eagles don't get on a plane. Okay. Literally do not get on a plane. You got a train to DC. You got a bus to North Jersey. That's it. That's it in terms of travel.
That's right.
And you guys know bad weather oftentimes is much better for a team that likes to run the ball.
Yep.
And that's what the Eagles are doing. So it doesn't matter what the conditions are if you're playing in the Northeast. That ain't going to affect them. Is it raining? Is it sleeting? Is it snowing? Is it cold as hell? Yeah. All right. So what? So what? All these things bode well for them. On top of it, you know, you touched on the defense too. You think about it. The defensive line, which wasn't really playing up to speed, looks like it's starting to get there, right? Barrett, TJ Edwards, as you mentioned, playing pretty good linebacker right now. You potentially have a defensive player of the year candidate in Darius Slay, who takes the ball away every single week and is not taking it to the house. All these things we've been screaming for this team for so long: create turnovers, score on defense, put the offense in a good position to succeed. All these things are starting to happen slowly but surely.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and defensively, just the mindset of how he's calling defense now. He had to stop with this fear of going against big name quarterbacks. You know, they put their pants on just like you do. And he had to, really, trust the guys that he has in the locker room. I mean, he has some great players that could really make a difference if you allow them to make a difference. If you allow them to play the game in which they, that they can get up and play more aggressively. Say what you want to say. Avonte Maddox, if you allow him to get up in the face, even though he's small, he's one of those gnats. He just want to, he's going to keep in your face. He's going to keep at you. He's going to keep gnawing at you, biting you. That's what he is. You got, two guys on the outside with experience in Nelson and Slay. I mean, those. It used to be that, all right, we used to, have to hold our breath on third down. We don't have to do that anymore because if you allow those guys to play in a more aggressive game, I like my chances against them going against any receiver in the league. And that's the difference between what we've had before and what we have now. We have guys that can legitimately cover. So what does that do? That releases your linebackers. Now TJ Edwards will play downhill. Once he started playing downhill and once he sees the double team, once he sees where the ball is going, he is firing like a rocket, going downhill and stopping the double team by picking off the double team and creating penetration. But also Davion Taylor's like, oh, that works. Well, let me do the same thing. He starts playing that way. Yeah. Then it's like it becomes infectious. Now Singletary's like, oh, man, they're playing this young guy in front of me because I'm not playing aggressive. Let me go out there and start playing aggressive. And now he's making those impact tackles. Impact tackles are tackles either 3 yards before or 3 yards after the line of scrimmage. Now they're making them tackles instead of taking tackles 9 yards down the field. It's all about calling an aggressive game for Gannon. Once he figured out that it doesn't matter what they're doing across from him, it's what you do and what you call and how you activate your players as far as them being aggressive, then things are going to continue to turn around like they're turning around now.
The fact that the thing I like most about the defense is the fact they're starting to let the corners play bump and run. And with the corners' ability to play bump and run and to play it successfully, it's allowing that front seven to play a lot of more games in the trenches. And look at the way they've been attacking the quarterbacks now compared to the way they were showing these teams too much respect early on in the season. Now, again, you look at the plethora of quarterbacks they're going to play from here on in. I'd blitz on every down. Let my cornerbacks play bump and run. You're going to win. You're going to win a lot of battles. You're going to lose a couple of battles. That's the nature of the beast. The better defenses in the National Football League, their corners play a bump and run format, which forces that quarterback to pat the ball just about a second more sometimes, which also allows the defensive front to get closer to that quarterback. If you don't get him down on the ground, you're disrupting his line of sight. You're forcing him to throw the ball a little bit more awkwardly than he wants to, and it ends up as an incompletion or, as we've seen in recent games, an interception by the secondary.
Yeah. All right. So before we get to the Thanksgiving tips for the folks, let's look at this game Sunday against the Giants. It's kind of a weird situation. They fired Jason Garrett yesterday, and Freddie Kitchens has been elevated to offensive coordinator. But even Joe Judge wasn't even really clear who's going to be calling plays. They're a mess, right, on a lot of levels. If you watch the game Monday night against Tampa, they look just terrible. Saquon, they can't figure out how to use him, or I don't know if he's not healthy or whatever. Kenny Galladay's been a total bust as a signing. Daniel Jones is a turnover machine. I think he's got as many turnovers as touchdowns in his entire career. Their offensive line is a sieve. There's some issues there with this Giants team, which can be a little bit dangerous if you're the Eagles and you're sniffing yourselves a little bit. So what are you guys thinking about this game Sunday?
The thing that concerns me is Freddie Kitchens is now going to have more of an input in the offensive play calling. Freddie Kitchens is a good offensive mind. They have the weapons. You look at the weapons they have on the outside. They're like 4 deep on the outside. Now, you're right. That offensive line is a mess. But Saquon Barkley is so good at finding a seam and slipping through a hole. And I think he's one of the upper echelon backs in the National Football League. When he gets to that second level, he can run over you. He can run by you. He can embarrass a lot of people. And I'll go back to what I said a few moments ago. You look at the Giants' 3 wins. There are 3 quality wins when you look at their 3 wins. Now this is a team that's basically down on their luck. Their offensive coordinator is gone. They're going in a new direction. You don't even know what kind of game Freddie Kitchens is going to call. So early on, they have an advantage there. This game could be a lot closer than it really should be, in my estimation.
Barrett?
You know what? I'm going with the mindset that I don't care who they have on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball. This Eagles team needs to continue what they're doing, and that's having their own identity, playing up to their strengths. And they shouldn't care about what they're going to do on the other side of the ball. Just play aggressive, and they continue to play aggressive. We're talking about a quarterback that's going to give us the ball. He's going to give us an opportunity to get some turnovers. And with the way that this offense is playing, they'll have the ball because that's a pass defense. That's a pass stopping defense. They have great corners. They have great secondary, but those guys up front are little. They're pass rushers. We're talking about a big offensive line against them. We're going to have to keep the ball on our side, for the major part of the game, keep that offense off the field, continue to bust them in the mouth and play our game. And I think this could be a convincing win. But, they're not going to, just run away with it like they did this last game. But it'll be a convincing win, and you'll know that the Eagles are a more dominant team than this Giants team.
Yeah, I think ugly win would be about right for this one. All right, so we got Thanksgiving tomorrow, guys. And first of all, happy Thanksgiving to you two, to your families. To
likewise.
You too, man. You
too.
Yeah,
man.
To the entire JAKIB Media family here.
You can always go get Chinese, bro. I know you always get Chinese food, man.
A couple of pizzas.
I'm not above that in the least. So I want to start with this. So I want to get Barrett, and then I want to get maybe some grilling tips from Gunner that would work for Thanksgiving as well. But Barrett, I know you are a really good cook in your own right, as is your lovely wife. So give us some of your favorites, some of your keys, what you're doing, what's on the game plan, what's up with the Brooks family.
Well, you know what? I like to roast a brisket. But my thing this year, I'm going with a turkey. I'm going with a Cajun turkey this time.
Cajun,
man.
Okay.
Yeah, Cajun turkey. I'll take some Cajun seasonings, and I put them in a cup. And then I've taken butter and melted butter in the cup, and put the seasoning inside it. I put some Italian seasoning in it also. The flakes, the paprika, all that stuff in there. And then I'll put in the refrigerator for a little bit, and then it becomes that like. Not hard, not all the way hard, but hard enough that I can take it and make it like a pasty type of deal. Okay. And I took it and stuck it inside the inner skin of my turkey, and I forced it in there. It's cold, so it didn't melt or anything. So I forced it in there all around inside the breast, all over the breast, underneath.
Isn't that abuse?
Yeah, it is, man. I felt kind of bad when I was doing it.
HR, line one.
I was like. This doesn't look, it doesn't feel too right either. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking I was gonna get charges for doing it. And I mean I got it all in there, man. And then I took some, and I'm inject as soon as I get it. I'm gonna inject some more of that stuff in there. So I'm trying this out. I want a Cajun turkey this year.
Okay, I need pictures, man. I need pictures.
No question.
What's going on? All right. All right, Gunner, how about you? Is the grill going to be fired up for this bad boy?
I'm not going to go grill this time. When it comes to the turkeys, we deep fry, we smoke turkeys. I have 4 different grills on my patio deck out there. This year we're going to air fry it, and similar to what Barrett does, I'll let a stick of butter sit out overnight and just get soft, and then I'll add stuff like rosemary, sage, and I can't tell you all the stuff I add to it. I mix it in like a paste, and I take it and I stuff it all under the skin, and then I'll take the turkey, wrap it up, and I'll set it in the fridge overnight. So about 8 or 9 hours. It will be sitting in there, and that butter concoction will become hardened, so that when I drop it in that air fryer, it just melts right into the meat. Now, what I will also do is I'll take orange juice, not bottled orange juice, but from freshly squeezed oranges, and inject it in the meat as well. Oh yeah,
that's different. That's next level, man.
To take it and inject it, several times. And then, of course, I have this digital meat thermometer. When you air fry, your temperature has the meat. The meat's done when it gets to 165. And so I have to check it periodically. But I use a technique called spatchcock, which is you cut that backbone out of the bird and you hit it like you're giving CPR. You flatten the bird. And the bird, we're doing about a 15, 16-pound bird. A bird that normally takes 3 to 4 hours to do conventionally in the oven, you can have them done in about an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
You guys are unbelievable. I mean, I thought I was just going to get, you keep it in there for an hour and a half. No, you guys take
But see, my wife is the real gourmet. As Barrett will tell you, my wife's a real gourmet chef, and she's making this apple crisp dessert.
What time should I come by?
Exactly.
Barrett, how many times I have to tell you? I'm
not even asking you, man. I'm calling your family.
Work and home are like church and state. I keep them separate for a reason. But Barrett has backdoored me a number of times and got in my house because he asked my wife and kids and bypassed me altogether. Like, how in the world did you get in here?
Okay.
He brought his daughter with him one time. I like the daughter better than
you can't turn his daughter down. You can turn him down. You can't turn his daughter down.
But this is what I did though. I wait till everybody was in the house. It's like 80 people in the house.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there and I go like this. It's like just from out of the blue. So I start yelling, "No, Gunner, I'm not leaving. Why are you kicking me and my daughter out?"
In front of my guests. In front of my guests.
So his wife turns around, his oldest daughter said,
"Hey, you got to do what you got to do." Here's all I said. I have lodged a formal protest against cranberry, any kind of cranberry. That's all I'm going to add. I'm out. Don't get it near me. I don't want it. If Grandpa or Uncle John wants bubbles, you got it, man.
What is it?
It goes.
What is it?
Roast. That's what it is.
Right.
It's skin on it. No, thank you. All right. So that's going to do it for us, guys. It was a blast.
Definitely,
Happy Thanksgiving to both of you guys.
Same to you and your family, man.
Families as well. And to everybody, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Philadelphia Eagles Thanksgiving Turkey Ball Special with D-Gun, with Barrett Brooks. I'm Rob Ellis. And again, reminder to everybody, just like the show and subscribe to JAKIB Media channel. It's been a blast, and we appreciate our great sponsors at Ocean Casino. Go for the shows. Go for the win. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. And we're going to replay this. If you missed any of the show, you can catch us again on Thanksgiving on tomorrow. So everybody, happy Thanksgiving, guys. A pleasure. A lot of fun.
Likewise.
Have a great day, guys. Take care.
Have a great day.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
What's that?
A rocks glass?
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.
Holy shit.
And you're telling me I can get one of these glasses for free?
That's right. One free rocks glass per customer with each first-time purchase of Stateside Vodka. So good, it just disappears.
When it comes to the fight against insurance companies, large corporations, and the healthcare industry, injured victims are always the underdog. But that doesn't worry us. At Messon Associates, we're an injury law firm from Philadelphia, and we come to fight. Our clients know that they've got representation with a chip on its shoulder, and it's the same chip that makes Philly the toughest city in the country. Call 215-568-3500 or visit us online at messalaw.com. Messa & Associates, the toughest injury firm in Philadelphia.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on three. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
Go for the midnight dares. Go for the game. Go for the hits. Go for the fans. Go for the win. Go to Ocean Casino Resort. Book your trip at theoceanac.com.
At Stateside Vodka, every new customer gets the world's best rocks glass, free.
You're telling me that bottle is cut in half?
You could say that.